Gothic 1 Remake is a dark fantasy action RPG built around exploration, factions, and brutal melee combat. But there's no native macOS version, so Mac players need workarounds. I tested a bunch and will now tell you about the methods that worked for me, so you can pick the one that best fits your needs. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the 2 methods that gave us best results. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. Crossover is the first method I'd try for Gothic 1 Remake now, because the local results are stronger than I expected for a heavy Unreal Engine 5 game. Using my M3 Max MacBook Pro with 36GB and playing at 1080p on medium with temporal scaling gave me around 60 FPS on average. That is not maxed out, but it is smooth enough to play. Reports I found for an M4 Pro with 24GB also lines up. Medium settings, DLSS balanced, frame generation, D3D metal, and M-Sync, with smooth gameplay and no meaningful stutter. For a baseline, I'd want at least an M2 Pro or M3 Pro class Mac, and ideally 24 gigs or more. High resolution and texture-heavy settings are the main limitations, but the optimized settings I'll give you in a bit can help a lot with that. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. The second method we recommend is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Boosteroid is the second recommended method, and it is the one I'd pick if you want Gothic 1 Remake without performance worries, especially if you are on a weaker machine. This game is heavy enough that cloud makes real sense. Forests, rain, torchlight, and dense camps all hit local hardware hard, while Boosteroid moves that load to a remote Windows machine. With a stable connection, you can aim for a clean, high-quality stream, with the service reaching up to 4K and 120 FPS if your internet has a speed of 60 megabits or faster. The caveat is obvious. If your connection jitters, dark forests and foggy scenes can turn into compression soup, and melee timing can feel delayed. But in my experience, while streaming the game over a 50 megabit Wi-Fi at a 1080p streaming resolution, I rarely got any of that, so I'd say that Boosteroid is definitely worth giving a try. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. Now here are the optimized settings I promised you earlier. For the Gothic Remake, start with the medium preset, then keep view distance, anti-aliasing, shadow quality, and global illumination on medium. This is the safest balance for forests, rain, and campfires. You can keep textures high unless surfaces start loading late, but if you are still getting poor performance, lower them too. I also recommend keeping volumetric effects on medium and using quality upscaling. Busy towns, swamp fog, and torchlit areas are where those choices matter most. Also, keep bloom around 70 with sharpening around 40. That keeps the image readable while smoothing out wide vistas, rain, and dark indoor fights. For further performance gains, try the rest of the optimizations you see here. The other methods are a variation of this theme. GeForce Now is the best cloud solution with all the bells and whistles, but at double the price of Boosteroid, it's just not worth it, except for a handful of games which can use the latest and greatest effects. Like Boosteroid, it's very easy to use. You just need to register, get a subscription, download its app, and start the game from it. xCloud is Microsoft's cloud solution, and it's by far the worst of the cloud solutions mentioned here, but it comes with the benefit of being free if you subscribe to Game Pass. AirGPU is the rent a gaming PC by the hour option. You buy credit, spin up a Windows machine, then stream it through Parsec or Moonlight. You pay by the hour and prices vary depending on what machine you rent, but the average is around $1. Then you also need to pay for local storage, which is $3.50 per month per 50 gigabytes with a minimum of 100 gigs. Shadow PC is the subscription version of the same idea, where the lowest monthly subscription fee is $34 for US users, and it only goes up from there. EU users get a cheaper plan option that costs €20 per month, but that's still more than twice the monthly fee for Boosteroid's base plan. Sikarugir is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. Here's how I'd rank the options for Gothic Remake. Crossover is my first pick if you have a strong Apple Silicon Mac and want local play. You get lower latency, offline access, and no cloud compression, but you need to stay realistic with settings and keep D3D Metal plus M Sync in place. Boosteroid is the easy cloud pick if you are looking for the best price to value ratio. It gives you a clean path into the game without worrying about renderer quirks, and it makes the most sense if your Mac is weaker or you just want to play tonight. GeForce Now is the premium cloud route. Pick it if you care more about the most polished stream than saving money, but don't expect it to perform better than Boosteroid if your internet is slow or laggy. Xbox Cloud Gaming is the Game Pass style option. It is convenient if you already have the required plan and the Xbox version, but I would not choose it first for image quality. Both Boosteroid and GFN are better in this department. Shadow PC and AirGPU are both decent options for the Gothic Remake, and their flexibility means you can customize the entire experience to fit your exact hardware preferences. However, the end result won't be that much different compared to Boosteroid or GFN, so only go for these two if you really care about having more cloud customization options at your disposal. Sikarugir is the free DIY local route. It can be viable, but expect more setup and less support than Crossover. It can totally work, but it's not recommended for inexperienced users or those who want the quickest, simplest solution. My recommendation is simple. Choose Crossover first on a powerful Mac. Choose Boosteroid for the easiest setup, and use GeForce Now if you want the best cloud polish and don't mind the higher price tag. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.